Evolution is supposed to create perfectly adapted survival machines, right? The fastest predators, the most efficient hunters. Animals so well designed they dominate their environments. So, what happened to these guys? I'm talking about animals that seem like nature's rejected drafts. Creatures that made the worst possible evolutionary choices and somehow thrived anyway. We're talking about a fish that forgot how to swim properly, a carnivore that gave up meat for the world's worst vegetarian diet, and a bird that literally forgot how to bird. These are 5 animals that evolved completely wrong, and yet, for millions of years, they absolutely crushed it. Let's figure out how. Meet the ocean sunfish, or as I like to call it, evolution's biggest "what were we thinking" moment. This thing is the largest bony fish on Earth, weighing up to 5,000 pounds. And it looks like someone started building a fish, got to the head, and just quit. No tail, just a massive floating head with fins awkwardly attached to the sides. Where the tail should be, there's this weird flappy thing called a clavus that looks like it was added as an afterthought. Here's the thing. Sunfish are terrible swimmers, despite being fish. They drift with ocean currents because they can't really control where they're going. They're covered in parasites because their skin is so thick and weird that parasites just set up permanent residence. Seabirds literally land on them to snack on the parasites like they're visiting a buffet. Oh, and their diet? Jellyfish. Basically ocean water with a slightly different texture. Zero nutritional value. It's like trying to survive on eating air. The sunfish's solution to this terrible design? Lay 300 million eggs at once, more than any other vertebrate on the planet. Because when your survival strategy is this bad, you just have to play the numbers game. And somehow, it works. Sunfish are found in every ocean on Earth. They're thriving. This absolutely ridiculous design has been successful for millions of years. Evolution doesn't grade on effort, apparently. Next up, koalas. The animal that chose the worst possible diet and then built its entire existence around it. Koalas only eat eucalyptus leaves. Not because eucalyptus is nutritious. It's literally toxic and has almost zero caloric value. They eat poison with no nutritional benefit. That's the choice they made. To handle this terrible diet, koalas sleep 18 to 22 hours a day. Because eating toxic cardboard doesn't exactly fuel an active lifestyle. And here's the wild part. Koalas have one of the smoothest brains of any mammal. Fewer brain folds means less processing power. They're so specialized for eating eucalyptus that if you put eucalyptus leaves on the ground in front of them, instead of on a tree, they won't recognize it as food. Their brain just doesn't compute. Oh, and baby koalas eat their mother's poop to get the gut bacteria necessary to digest the poison leaves. That's how committed they are to this horrible dietary decision. Koalas survived for millions of years with this strategy. They picked the worst food source imaginable and said, "This is fine." And it was fine, until humans started destroying eucalyptus forests. Sometimes evolution isn't about making smart choices, it's about making weird choices and sticking with them. Next, sloth. If koalas are evolution's overspecialized student, sloths are the ones who just stopped trying. Sloths are so slow that algae grows on their fur. Not as a side effect, it's basically their camouflage strategy now. They accidentally turned their laziness into survival. They have the slowest metabolic rate of almost any mammal. They only poop once a week, and when they do, they climb down from the safety of the trees to do it on the ground. The most dangerous thing they do all week. Why? Nobody knows. It's like they're actively trying to get eaten. It takes them 30 days to digest a single meal. They move so slowly they sometimes mistake their own arms for tree branches and fall to their deaths. Their strategy for avoiding predators is to move so slowly that eagles and jaguars sometimes just don't notice them. Being slow should be a death sentence in nature. The slow get eaten. That's how it works. Except sloths have been around for 64 million years. They opted out of the survival of the fittest race entirely and somehow won anyway. Now let's talk about the kakapo, a parrot that forgot how to be a parrot. Most parrots are bright, loud, fly during the day, and breed regularly. The kakapo said no thanks to all of that. It's the heaviest parrot in the world, up to 9 pounds, and it evolved to be too fat to fly. It lives on the ground, in New Zealand. where there were no mammalian predators, until humans showed up with rats, cats, and stoats. But even before that, the kakapo's survival strategy was questionable. They're nocturnal, almost unheard of for parrots. They only breed every 2 to 5 years, and only when specific trees fruit. Males perform elaborate mating displays by booming in bowls they dig in the ground, sometimes for months, just hoping a female wanders by. Their defense mechanism when threatened? Freeze completely still, great camouflage against birds, absolutely useless against mammals that hunt by smell. Oh, and kakapos smell like flowers and musty honey, making them incredibly easy to sniff out. There are only about 250 kakapos left in the world now. They gave up flight, bright colors, and frequent breeding to become weird, ground-dwelling herbivores. It worked perfectly in isolation for millions of years. And then the world changed. And suddenly, all those wrong choices became fatal. Finally, we have the giant panda, the animal that has a carnivore's body but chose an herbivore's lifestyle. Pandas have the digestive system of a meat eater. Short gut, no specialized plant-digesting organs. Everything about their body says, I should be eating meat. Instead, they eat almost exclusively bamboo, a plant with terrible nutritional content. They have to eat 26 to 84 pounds of it every day, spending 12 to 16 hours just eating, and they only digest about 17% of what they consume. For comparison, actual herbivores digest about 80% of what they eat. Pandas are running their carnivore digestive system on the wrong fuel and just dealing with it. Their reproduction is somehow even worse. Female pandas are only fertile for 24 to 72 hours per year, one of the shortest breeding windows of any mammal. Many captive pandas have such low sex drives they refuse to mate. Zookeepers have literally shown them panda videos to try to get them interested. When cubs are born, they're tiny and helpless. Mothers often only raise one, even if they have twins, because they don't have enough energy from their terrible bamboo diet. Pandas should have gone extinct from malnutrition and reproductive failure millions of years ago. Instead, they survived until habitat loss became the real threat. So, what do these 5 animals teach us? Evolution isn't about perfection. It's not about making the smartest choices or being the best designed. Sometimes it's about making completely absurd decisions and just committing to them. The sunfish can't swim well. The koala picked poison as its only food. The sloth gave up on speed entirely. The kakapo forgot how to fly, and the panda runs on the wrong operating system. And for millions of years, it worked. These animals prove that good enough to survive is all evolution requires. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make sense. You just have to survive long enough to pass on your genes, until the world changes. And that's when the weird specialists struggle. These evolutionary mistakes teach us that nature is way stranger and more flexible than we give it credit for. Sometimes the worst designs work perfectly, until they don't. What does that say about adaptation? About survival? About the whole idea of progress? Maybe evolution doesn't have a right way. Maybe it just has ways that worked, until they didn't.